You're listening to the best local sports show. Boots, Bats and Balls on Six Towns Radio.
I'm Rob Ledgar from Six Towns Radio on the Boots, Bats and Balls show. I'm with the Stoke City legend Ricardo Fuller. Ricardo, how are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you.
We're here at Pillowbox Lettings in Hartshill. Not the usual place you meet a footballer, but you know the guys here, don't you? Know Tony and Steph really well.
Oh yes, definitely. From day one, from my arrival here at Stoke, from Southampton, I've met Tony and I've met Steph as well. I used to trim at Steph's son barber shop when I just came here in Hanley. Daily, that's Steph's son, and I obviously know Tony well because obviously the property management that Tony has, and always at the games as well. And he's always a great lad. And the first trophy I got, I think, was from Tony's mates who does the granite countertop, and he did a nice Ricardo Fuller kind of a trophy thing for me and give it to me as like a plaque. So I will never forget that. So yeah, definitely nice guys, and Pillowbox Lettings is going to be a success.
Yeah, they're setting up in Hartshill as a lettings business, and I think you've had some dealings with them in the past, haven't you?
Oh yes, Tony, as I say, I know him from back in the day, and as Steph, obviously when I've Steph as the police officer, as I know him before, and his son Daly, as I say, used to trim my hair back in the day when or my earlier days in Stoke when I arrived. And obviously Steph back in the day used to look after me as well as Tony, because when you join a club you always need experienced head, and these guys lived and spent their entire lives around here, so they could show you the ropes where not to go, how to try and to be as safe as possible, and also try to stay out of trouble. Yeah,
so they kept an eye on you basically and looked after you and steered you away from the potential pitfalls that you can have as a professional footballer.
Definitely, because these guys have got immaculate record as a human being. As you can see, they're trouble free. They're proper human beings. They're spanking nice guys in terms of like record flawless. Never get in trouble. Never seen Tony angry. Never seen Steph angry, and that kind of things make you admire these kind of human beings and these people. Tony and Steph, great people.
Steph, of course, used to be a senior police officer.
Exactly, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. And when I had my few driving issues as well, Steph obviously put me through the ropes and tell me what to do, and obviously keep me online, so I stay out of that. And I know I've been a good person. In terms of traffic offences, I haven't seen one of them in so long now, which is great for me, because at the end of the day you get small tickets and small fines, or you may overspeed a little bit, but at the same time you always want to try to do the right thing, and that's where Steph is. He's the law and he shows me the right thing, and Tony as well, as in terms of getting around and knowing places, and the company that he keeps, always sound people.
Yes, yeah. Ricardo Fuller, what are you up to now? I mean, you left Stoke, went to about 4 clubs after you. I think you went to Charlton, Blackpool, Oldham and Millwall.
Oldham.
And Millwall, great result for Millwall yesterday, of course.
Yes, no, the day before.
Saturday,
Saturday. Yeah, yes, very good result. In the FA Cup, we all know what can happen, and this was just one of those days again. I'm happy for them, because obviously I used to play for the club and I represented the club, and any club that I've played for, it's always happy for me, to see them successful, especially against a Premier League team. And so yeah, congrats to them. I've been at I left Stoke, I went to Charlton, then I went to Millwall, Blackpool, then Millwall, then finish up at Oldham. So yeah, it's one of them things, try to play as long as you can, because at the end of the day, when you retire and when that day comes. So yeah, I try to play as long as I can, try to do as best as I can till the end, and unfortunately, fortunately it finished at Oldham, but at the same time, I done a good 36, finished at 36 I think it was. So yeah, I had a good run. Over 15 years, so yes, I had a good run.
I understand you're taking your coaching badge at the moment, looking to move into coaching or management maybe?
Oh yes, it's best for me to do what I know. I have more joy. Just as playing football is the best thing I can do. I'm lucky to obviously do a sport that I get paid for, and I'm blessed by God, and I thank God every day for that, for the talent that He has given me of being a football player. But at the same time, I'm grateful, because all these things fall into place the way they did. You have to give thanks for that and give God thanks for that. As far as coaching is concerned, I've done the level 2. Already at St George's Park, so I'm waiting in May to do the B license, so I could get cracking on in terms of like doing some work alongside football, because that's my strong point. That's what I love to do, and I personally, I feel I get more joy doing the things I love to do, even if it come naturally. Because football is my life. It's always been as a player, and now I've retired, and as a coach, or be involved with some form in the football world, whether it be an agent, as I have a few experience with Darryl Powell, who used to be my agent for the last 4 deals, or be a coach. There's Jamaica national team. I'm aiming for that as well, because at the end of the day, I'm a Jamaican, and it's nice to represent my country as a player and as a coach. That would be so fantastic to do. So yeah, I'm aiming for those kind of things. So I just got to keep working. As it says, the best way to finish a job is to get started. So I've got started.
You got started. Coaching badge then.
Level 2.
You aim for B in May.
In May.
And that's, I guess that's at St George's Park as well.
Yeah, St George's Park as well. The UFAB. But it's every May, so it's all about timing now. Yeah. It's every May you can do it. Because the reason why they have it done like that is because of obviously players playing now. The season finishes in May, so that gives them the opportunity when the season finishes, so they can sit the exams or the test or whatever they need to do, or go through the course, so that they'll have a chance of passing. So they do it every May. So May coming will be doing the UFAB, and hopefully next May the A, and after that the next May would be the last round, which is the pro license. So I'm trying to have it all, so that if the job comes along, I'm ready for it.
Fantastic. One thing that strikes me, I didn't really see you as a manager, but one thing that did change your mind, the FA Cup semi-final. Remember the FA Cup semi-final? Who can forget it, against Bolton? Yeah. The 5-0 victory.
Oh, yes. I
believe you did a speech before the game for that one. Just tell us a little bit about the background of that, because a lot of people forget that.
Oh, yes. That was something. That was something special by the team. That semi-final was, I can never forget that one. Obviously, it's a semi-final. Obviously, it's at Wembley as well. But yeah, the gaffer, I weren't getting much playing time, because I had, I think, less than a year to run on my contract, and we had some contract negotiations and stallings happened by the club, and Pulis, me and him fighting this and fighting that. But football was always football, and respect will always be there, and the club is always much more important than anything else. And at the end of the day, I was still a Stoke player, so the gaffer asked me to do a speech. We had Bolton coming up in the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley. And I remember all the pundits on Sky Sport were saying, Bolton easily going to win that. No, Stoke, nah. Can't see them going through. Can't see them making the final. So all week we've been under the cosh. Players' confidence levels was a bit down. I knew that, because in training it was as turned up as it was. Because at the end of the day, players, we don't maybe not read a lot of the newspapers and trying to follow too many football stories, just to keep our head clear. But at the same time, we do hear stuff. We go and we watch Sky Sports, and we heard it on the telly, we heard it on the radio, all the pundits, back in Bolton. So they kind of make you feel down. And the gaffer kind of knew that. So he's very clever anyways with those kind of things, building morals and stuff like that. So he asked me, as a senior player, as one of the players that the team look up to in certain occasions, when obviously game's tough or when stuff to do in terms of like creating something from nothing. So I knew that as well, and at the same time, for me, I never afraid of anybody. If I'm going to lose against Man United or Chelsea, I'm going to lose. But one thing for sure, I'm always going to give it 100%. So the gaffer knows the type of person I am. He's not stupid. He's very clever. So he asked me to give that speech in the changing room before the game at Wembley. So all week I've been thinking, what am I going to say? I'm not that type of person. I like to play. I don't like to be talking. Even though I'm not going to be starting the game, I will be on the bench. Exactly. I like to play. I like to show it on the pitch. And he's asked me to give this speech. Went down on his knees and said, Rick, I know you're not starting. I know you're not too happy now, but please talk to the boys.
So please went on his knees.
Went on his knees in the office upstairs. Please, Rick, give them a speech. Because we were falling. We kept falling out, and he kept leaving me on the bench, putting me on, leaving me on the bench. So we have a bit of fallout at the time, but as I said, the club was more important, and the FA Cup, big thing for Stoke City, big thing for us being in the FA semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley as well. So he went down his knees and said, please, and I said, okay, then I'll do it. I'll give him a speech. So all week I've been thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? But I was a person, I love to read inspirational stuff. I like to watch inspirational movies, stuff like that. I like to watch movies where coach, like the NFL games where coach gives speech. I think it was Robert De Niro, the speech where he gave that speech. I like films like that. So, and I like Martin Luther King, great guys, Nelson Mandela, may their soul rest in peace. Great guys like that. I like to see those guys with good morals, and when you read whatever they say, it makes you feel twice the man you are. So I kept thinking all week, what am I going to say? So anyway, I was reading a book. I think it was Martin Luther King's book, and I saw the speech, one of his speech. Like I read Michael Jordan's book, I read Che Guevara's book. I like those kind of things. So I never forget when I read the Michael Jordan book, and he said, and he's never given in training. He's never given half-hearted in a session, because if you do that, when you go into the game, you're going to only give half-hearted performances. He's always giving 100%. So I read Martin Luther King's book now, and I saw it. He said, what's the speech? I forgot the speech, Yeah,
that was the quote that you used.
I read his book, as I do with most sports icons, Diego Maradona, Pele, Lewis Hamilton recently. I've been reading stuff. I love to read, autobiographies of great athletes, great people, human being in general. As I say, so all week I've been thinking, what am I going to say to the players? Because I've never done something like this before. I'm going into new territory. And obviously I know the team needed it, because all week the confidence wasn't as high as it used to be. Maybe because we're trying to be very focused, because we know we have a big game coming up. The semi-final is a massive game for any club, especially the FA Cup at Wembley. So you want to push on and go to the finals. You know what winning the FA Cup would be like? Imagine for a small club like Stoke winning the FA Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Never been done before, right? We win the League Cup, but we never won the FA Cup. So it was something that it bring massive pressure. So all week we've been training, and we weren't as confident as we usually be. Maybe because we were trying to focus on the game too much. So the gaffer asked me to give this speech, lighten up the mood a bit, and to obviously G the boys up in terms of getting that impetus to go on and run over Bolton. So anyway, I read Martin Luther King's book, and I decided that, okay, this is the speech I'm going to give. So in the changing room, we sat down, everybody's get changed. The gaffer gave his speech, and he saved me for last, just before we go out. And the change room was just as quiet as we walked in. And so when the gaffer asked us to give the speech, the boys started to cheer, because it's something that I've never done, and they never know me to be a big talker in the change room anyways, but they know what they're going to get on the pitch. So anyway, the guys got quiet again, and I decided to give the speech, and I just tell them simple. I said, guys, we know that nobody's backing us at the minute. All the pundits are saying Bolton are going to win, but that's just paper talk. I said, none of you guys here ever gonna I would not change any of those guys for any of you. It was a pleasure playing with you guys since I've been here. I've only known success and success. I know you guys have my back, but today we need to go out there and play and do the best as we can. Don't worry about what the pundits think, because what they think is not important. As the legend, the Honourable Martin Luther King said, it's not that we are inadequate, but we are powerful beyond our wildest dreams. With a little bit ambition, with a little bit belief and ambition, you will see what you can become. And the minute I gave that speech, obviously, everyone, and I repeat it, it's not that we are inadequate, but we are powerful beyond our wildest dreams. With a little bit believe in yourself fearlessly and ambition, you'll see what you can become. I said, lads, let's go out there and show them what we can do. Time for talk is over. Let's do it.
They didn't let you down.
And when I completed that speech, listen, the cheer in that dressing room could actually blow my ears off. It's like a touch of nerve that everybody, even if I was talking in Spanish, they would still understand. The way of passion, maybe the way I said it at the time. Because when I have football for me, I don't think about nothing else. If I've got a problem before the game, once I'm in the dressing room, I don't remember what problem I had. So maybe the way I brought it across to the players, listen, the cheer that after, like, come on! Deafening. And trust me, I think the first 5 minutes we scored or something like that. And we just kept scoring. Even when I came on, I almost scored. Gary Cahill came back and blocked the shot. Great block. and maybe I could have slipped it to John Walters for him to get his hat-trick. But it was 5-0 and I thought, come on, I need to score here. It's the FA Cup semi-final, as any striker would do. So I tried to take my chance and I had the shot, and Gary Cahill came back and blocked the shot. So yeah, that was a great win, never forget. It's just unfortunately we never go the extra, the one more hurdle. We never get jump that last hurdle, because that would have been such an achievement for Stoke City, for ourselves personally and for the club and for the fans as well. Wow, but the fans that day as well, oh my days, they were unbelievably great. They were great. The support we had, Bolton had half, I think we had half, but listen, maybe the way we played, maybe the goals we scored, gave our fans obviously more to cheer about, but we actually ruled Wembley that day. I never forget, ruled Wembley that day. Even when I was leaving, walking to my car, I was walking with Owen Kyle and his coaches and their wives. They never speak. Their face was so miserable. Like, to be fair, 5-0 in Wembley, FA Cup semi-final. It's not something you laugh about or smile about. I don't think he probably slept for a month. Trust me, Owen Kyle.
If you look at Bolton, that was the start of their slide, really, wasn't it?
Exactly. So
they never really recovered from that, did they?
Exactly. So
I know they did Stoke 5-0. I think.
Yeah, but that was in the league. But we did that speech. It worked really well. But I was a bit sorry as well for one thing, because I don't think the speech get as much credit as it deserved. The players knew. The Pulis within himself know. He knows that he should have given the speech a lot more credit. But I think Ryan did give it a shout out in the Sentinel, I think a day, and it was in the Sun after, I think burst up a day after, I think the Monday or something earlier in the week.
I think I spoke to Rory in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Rory mentioned it.
Exactly.
He didn't say.
Exactly.
He wouldn't say what was said.
Exactly.
And I've always wondered what was said.
The players within themselves know, but Pulis, I'm disappointed in him because he could have given the speech a lot more respect and credit that he deserves. Maybe, obviously, the training was good, no doubt about that. He's the gaffer, he's always my gaffer, because, I've got respect for him, definitely for that. But you should give credit where credit is due, and you should give the respect to what he did, because it has also done something. Maybe it has had to what that was already there, no doubt about that, but you need to give credit where credit is due. So a little bit disappointed in that. But at the same time, I was chuffed, I was over the moon being the FA Cup finals, as I say. Just a shame we couldn't go the other hurdle to cap to collect that trophy. So
back to management then. You must have played under quite a few managers in terms of the clubs you've been at.
Yes.
Who would you say was your favourite manager? What bits would you pick from certain manager style and Ricardo Fuller's style?
Well, to be fair, I've got all of them. Most managers, if not, all the managers are my favourite manager, because to be fair, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here, being at Stoke, in terms of everything. Because to be fair, simple as I say it, every disappointment is for a good. If you take disappointment on the chin and put it and work towards making it better, then you will be a top player, because it's actually taking out your weaknesses and trying to make them stronger. And that's how I probably ended up here. But definitely, I've got Pulis to thank for that. Obviously, me, my time here at Stoke, because he has made me into a very fit player. And normally when I'm very fit, I could do anything, as in anything. And the fittest I've been is at this club for sure. And Hearts, Craig Levine, another one. Back from my injury, I had bad injuries all over throughout my career. I had loads of injuries, really serious injuries, spinal fusion, Achilles injury, ACL reconstruction, arthroscopy, you name it. But I've always bounced back. So Craig Brown is another one, bought me at Preston. Harry Redknapp had faith in me. And I like when managers put faith in me. I like when managers give me love. And Tony Pulis, Harry Redknapp, Craig Brown, Craig Levine, those managers always had faith in me, and I always would lift my hat off to those men. And also Joe Royle. But Joe Royle at Ipswich, when I went on loan from Southampton, that's where I actually found back my game, because obviously I had a bit of a knock with my knee. I had a hole in my cartilage, and I was at Portsmouth, and I struggled throughout the season. Made the move to Southampton because Harry Redknapp brought me to Portsmouth. Then he went to Southampton. Then he said, "Listen, Rick, I need you to come over here because I know you can take this club back up to the Premiership. So I need you." And being Harry Redknapp, who brought me from Preston to Portsmouth, and with the faith he showed in me, because when I went to Portsmouth, I failed the medical again. I would never pass the medical, but the managers who know what I can do.
Yeah.
So I have to lift my hat up to Tony Pulis because he took the chance. I read up. He put his head on the line with Milan Mandaric. He said, if you don't go back and sign this player, you won't have a manager in Redknapp. And Milan Mandaric came back in with a deal, and that's why I ended up going back to Portsmouth because I failed in medical, went back to Preston.
Okay, I didn't realise that. Yeah.
So I like managers who put faith in me. And Harry Redknapp, as I say, Craig Brown, Tony Pulis, all those managers knew that I have injuries, but I've trained every day. I've been in the gym like 3-4 times a week. So it's just that the injuries are there, the injury is there, but I know to manage myself.
Yes.
And if all the managers who did show the faith in me, I've always repaid them with success and with obviously whichever way you want to class success. At Stoke City, we went from Championship team to a Premier League team, still in the Premiership at this moment in time. Obviously, I had great teammates to support me. We had a great club. The chairman has been fantastic. The staff has been fantastic. The fans have been nothing shorter than sublime. You know what I mean? So it all worked. But definitely Pulis and Harry Redknapp and Craig Brown, Craig Levine, those are managers that if those four, I would probably never forget them in terms of what they did for me.
Are you involved in football in any way currently, or?
At the minute, no. I just play on a Thursday with my friends on the futsal surface or on the AstroTurf. So
is Mama playing?
Mama plays as well.
I've spoken to Mama.
So,
Mama said he's playing.
Yeah, on a Tuesday and a Thursday we play.
Yeah.
Now we're indoors because the weather is not good, so we're playing indoors now. So yeah, that's what I do. I've done the level 2 a couple of months ago. About 2-3 months ago. I've finished the level 2. I've done a few stuff in Jamaica with the academy, some academy players there. I've done it one session in Crewe as well on the AstroTurf with some academy kids there, and that's the most I've done so far with the level 2. With the level 2, that's like you can coach kids with that. Mm-hmm. But I want to get into the senior football stuff, whether it be an assistant or whatever. And I was involved with Rudolph Austin going to Bromby. Darryl Powell was his agent, and I gave Darryl Powell Rudolph because obviously playing for Jamaica, Rudolph was one of my apprentice, and he's always had respect for me, and he trusts me. So obviously I put him in a hand where I felt that he was going to be well looked after. Rudolph needed a proper agent that would have looked after him and give him a good move without anybody. You know what agents can be like. Some of them can be really, really bad. So I helped Rudolph with making that transformation from that agent to Darryl Powell, and with the move, certain things that Darryl showed me, the move to Bromby. So yeah, that's those side of the football. That's being an agent, doing a bit of work, and obviously waiting to do the B license in May so I can start doing some proper work. And as I say, ultimately we'll be trying to get the managerial job at some point, however long that will take. The Jamaica national senior team, get involved some way, shape or form. There's my club in Jamaica as well, that I came from, Tivoli Gardens. As the manager, you never know. I mean, so that's there for me because.
Do you get over to Jamaica much?
Yeah, yes. Every holiday I try to be there as much as possible. Last time I've seen Christmas there, it's been 19 years since I've seen a Christmas in Jamaica. Right. So I've managed to. I went last Christmas and it was fantastic. I spoke with the club last Friday, Stoke City, Tony Scholes and Mark Cartwright about doing some scouting role for the Central American Caribbean region football squad, like the academy side of it, bringing in players, whether it be senior players or academy players. But at the minute, the senior player is a little bit of a stumbling block because of the work permit criteria. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of like running some checks now and to see whether if we are allowed to bring it's a little bit more easier bringing in the academy players, any player under 18 of such. So they're looking at that and then they'll get back to me. But it'd be nice to do some form of work with the club. As I said before, some form of ambassador role or some form of role with the club would be nice because I live here. I've lived there for the last 11 years. I've lived at one house. I've never moved. Yeah. Tony Pulis actually showed me that house, and I decided to buy that house, and that's been my house from day one. So it's 11 years now. My son goes to school here in Newcastle, and my son is born in Stoke as well at North Staffs. So it's like a home away from home for me. Yes. So it'd be nice to do some form of work with the club. rather than be sitting at home wasting away.
Ricardo, thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
You're welcome.
And I'll speak to you no doubt soon.
You're welcome, no problem. You're welcome, no problem.